Hello guys and gals, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and as always, don't forget to leave a like and share the video with others if you think they would enjoy it. So today I am headed to C1. That is what today's video is going to be all about, is our travels to C1. Now here I'm just stopping to show you guys my inventory. As you can see, I am wearing some new gear, and you know, that's all good. It's because when I hopped on today, I went ahead and went around the B2 town just a little bit more just to pick up a few things. So our original plan was to go ahead and make a bigger backpack, but as you can see, I looted one. I don't remember exactly where I got that backpack. But the helmet I actually got in a trash can outside the police station, which was awesome. And I have changed my clothes just a little bit. I think it was just the pants, really. I got those off of a puppet in the barracks that we were just in. So, and now we're going to get some food, and then we will be on our way. A lot of today's video, we will be talking about Pearl's backstory, and some of that is going to be true up into the point where she was kidnapped by the Tech One Corporation. I just thought it would be cool to give her a true backstory based on my life. So with that said, the first thing we're going to do is define what a survivor is. A survivor is someone who continues to live after a dangerous event, such as an accident, illness, or war. A survivor can also be someone who is resilient or courageous enough to overcome hardships and misfortune. Okay, so what is Pearl's story? How did she get to this point in her life? Where did her life begin? What are her life experiences, and will they help ensure her survival on the island? And I want to start off too by saying that I feel, being a survivor myself, as you guys will hear in this, as her backstory, I do kind of wonder sometimes if that's why I like the survival genre, because I think of myself that way. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments if anyone else, considers them a survivor, and if you think that might play a role in the fact that you do like survival games. I don't know. I don't know if it's that big a role, but I feel like maybe a little bit. I don't know. So anyway, Pearl was born in Ohio. She was born to a single mother who had 4 children. So Pearl was the third born in the family, and her other siblings were all 3 boys, 2 older and 1 younger. So she grew up in a small community. She lived in a trailer park, and the trailer park did foster many low-income families. There were many children. Things that she enjoyed doing as a child was like going for bike rides, playing in the sand, because I think they've been to a beach. I think they visited Florida at some time when she was little. Evidently she loved eating sand. She also liked eating ashes from her mother's ashtray, which was like super weird. I'm like, why would anyone want to do that? But I guess they later found out, they took her to the doctor to find out why is she craving this, like the sand and the it was probably just a deficiency in her diet that made her do that. But she'd take her mom's cigarette butts and like use those to dip into the ashes and then lick them off, which sounds pretty disgusting, I know, but kids do some weird ass things anyway. But Pearl doesn't remember a lot from her childhood up until she was around 8 years old. So she did like hiding in boxes along with riding bikes. She did enjoy school. I guess at one point in her life she was hiding in the bottom of a box under her stuffed animals, and she actually fell asleep in there, so her mother couldn't find her, and she was like, I would imagine that was a frightening time for her mother, but you know, I know as a mother myself, that would freak the crap out of me if I couldn't find my children. Now there might be a lot more that Pearl would have remembered about her childhood had, you know, had it not been overshadowed by the events that took place starting around 7.5 to 8 years old. So this poor child and her two older brothers, you know, being the innocent children that they were, had no idea their mother was struggling, you know, to keep the family afloat. So in this struggle, she decided that, you know, she's like, I can't provide for them the way I want to, and, you know, she just felt it was time to place them in a different home. So she basically, you know, transferred custody of her children to friends or other family members. Like, we're just going to tell Pearl's story here. Her brother's story isn't really relevant to why she is the way she is. Well, partially, but we're probably not going to go into that. But yeah, she was given up for adoption at the age of 8. It was around 7.5 or 8, I believe, and the family that adopted her, I believe they were second cousins of the mother, of Pearl's mother. So I don't really understand all that much, but yeah, she was given up for adoption to that family. Pearl remembers being partially sad about that, but at the same time excited, because when she was sad because she couldn't understand why her mother would give her away, you know, because in her eyes as a child, she didn't notice that there was a struggle at all. She felt like she was fed and taken care of and all that good stuff, and went to school and whatnot. So she doesn't really understand why her mother's giving her away, but you know, she meets the new family, and they are seemingly a pretty nice family. You know, they have a bigger home because they do have more money. They provide her with all sorts of new toys and new hobbies, new things that she gets to try that, you know, her mother couldn't provide. You know, like she couldn't do sports and extracurricular activities outside of school with her real mother, because her mother didn't have the money to do that, being a single mother of 4 children. So she wasn't able to do that. So I mean, it was kind of okay with Pearl, you know, for a little while. She was getting used to being with the new family, but eventually things took a dark turn. And what is this dark turn, you might be wondering? Child abuse. Physical, sexual, and emotional abuse at the hands of the adults that are supposed to love, nurture, and take care of her. So it started with, I believe, it had something to do with Pearl supposedly lied about something that had happened at school, and she was beat for that. So I don't know why beating a child for telling a lie is like a horrible thing. I don't remember exactly what the lie was about, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with, you know, Pearl lying about something that had happened at school. So from that point on, I don't even think she was with this family. I don't even know if she'd even been with them for a year before this happened. No, the abuse and stuff, it didn't start off like horrible and it was like a daily thing or anything, but as time went on and she lived with the family longer, things actually just got worse for her. And what made this even worse is that this family actually had children of their own. They had 2 boys of their own. One of the boys was, I believe they were about a month apart in age, Pearl and the older one. So those 2 were close in age, and then the other boy was younger. So, but what made this worse is that the boys were never abused. You never hear them being whipped, and you never saw them being locked away in their rooms. You never saw them being force-fed and locked in a garage. And, I never saw any of that. So it's like, what was Pearl's purpose there? Was her purpose to, be a way for the mother to take her be something for the mother to take her frustrations out on, and the father to fulfill his sick fantasies? Maybe. I don't know. She was a young girl. She didn't understand why these things were happening to her. She was just very, very confused. She wasn't sure what she did wrong for her mother to give her away. And these are things that just started going through Pearl's head as she was, experiencing these things in her life. And it wasn't all bad. Pearl got to experience things she may not have been able to had she not been adopted by this family. She got to take dance lessons. She got to take piano lessons. She got to be on a swim team and compete on a swim team. She played soccer and softball, and she was in Girl Scouts. She got to do all these things. But did she totally get to enjoy them? No, she didn't. She did not get to enjoy them. She tried her best to enjoy these things, and I don't know if the family felt like, hey, we can do what we want. We're providing you all these things. It was just a very confusing time for a child to have to go through something like that. And the longer she was there, things would just get worse, she did still try to enjoy those activities when she was able to participate, but eventually it got to the point where she wasn't participating in those things anymore. Or if she was, the parent was just on her all the time. Because obviously the parents didn't want people to know what they were doing to the child, so they're gonna keep her under a close eye and observation, making sure she's not telling anyone what's going on. So eventually it got to the point where the mother was actually locking Pearl in her bedroom, not allowing her to go to school. And I guess this wasn't every day, because I feel like if this was an everyday thing, then, obviously the schools would say something. But when they did send her to school, they would send her dirty. So you gotta realize a lot of this stuff is just breaking Pearl down, making her feel like she's a horrible human being. Because she goes to school and she's just disgusting. So she stops in the bathroom to try and clean up as much as she can before going to her classroom. There were times when she was sat out on the porch with a baby bottle in her mouth, and this is at age 6 or 7, because her adopted mother thought, hey, you don't know how to properly drink out of a cup, so we're going to make you drink out of a baby bottle on the front porch where everybody can see you. So, I don't know. The struggle was real, but Pearl was resilient and just kept going strong. You know, she hoped someday she would eventually get out of this situation. A lot of the things that she was beaten for, she just didn't really understand. But hey, she's a survivor. So eventually, Pearl, is at a Girl Scout meeting, and the Girl Scout leader, her mother is also one of the Girl Scout leaders, but this Girl Scout leader was able to pull Pearl to the side and ask her about the bruises and stuff on her legs. Now, she always tried to deny that, there was anything going on, because she didn't know it was going to happen if she, told these people. It's like, what is this family going to do to me if I tell someone what's happening to me and they find out about it and I don't get any help? It's like, what are they going to do to me? So she didn't want to tell people about what was going on. But the Girl Scout leader wasn't the only person noticing this stuff. The school was noticing, and she only found this out later after she had been removed from the home. That, authorities, people did know about this. But Pearl didn't know people knew what was happening to her, which was really sad. Now, her adopted brothers, saw what was going on. She even looks at one of her adopted brothers as a bit of a hero, because he came home one day and she's a little girl, okay, sitting in her little panties and her little, it's like a little tank top, out on the back porch with that on, no coat, no nothing. Her mother had put her out on the porch like that. And the boy came home from school, I think he was a little older. I think he was like 6 months older than her. And he gave her his coat, his winter coat that he had on. Now, that was the first time one of the children had ever intervened in trying to help Pearl, during this time of abuse. So she kind of thought of him as a hero, because he tried to help her. When Pearl was being locked in her room, she was a pretty smart little girl. She had this, she would stay busy when she was locked up in her room by just playing, because she had Barbies. She had a big Barbie dollhouse. She had an easy no-bake oven and all that kind of stuff. Not that she ever really baked with the easy no-bake oven, but she definitely used, there's a little pan that would come with it. I think it's considered like a loaf pan or something like that to make bread in. Since Pearl hadn't yet figured out how to get out of her room to go to the bathroom and to get food, she did without the food for a while. It was fine. But when you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go to the bathroom. So Pearl learned to use her little loaf pan as like a little pee pan. I don't remember what those are called, but yeah, she would pee in that, open her window, and I guess she somehow figured out how to open the screen too, because you kind of have to take it through the screen as well. But she would just pee in that little pan and then throw it out of her second-story window. The pee, she would just pour it out. So she was able to go to the bathroom. But, as she got older, as this continued to happen, not necessarily older, but as this continued to happen, she was able to figure out how to open her door so that she could get out of the room during the day when no one was there. So she was a pretty pretty witty little girl. She figured out how to use her barrettes to unlock the bedroom door. It just amazes me at what children are capable of, especially when they're put in situations like that. You know, there were times when, you know, her adopted mother would be abusing her or whatever, and you know, they would be at the top of the stairs. Pearl literally wanted to push the lady down the stairs. But even though she was enduring this child abuse, she didn't do that. And I'm still amazed to this day as to why. I mean, I guess because as a child you don't know what is considered acceptable, and pushing someone down the stairs, just to me, you know, doesn't seem acceptable. So Pearl was not able to do that, even though in her little mind she really wished she could have done that. So, and Pearl often wondered if maybe the mother abused her because the mother knew that the father was coming in and molesting her, giving her attention that should have been given to the mother. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for Pearl, but I don't feel bad for Pearl. And I don't think anyone should feel bad for Pearl. Don't need to feel sympathy or feel bad for her. Because look where she is today. She's still a survivor. She's whooping some ass here. But she's learning to survive in a different way. So, eventually Pearl would be returned to her family after the Girl Scout leader, and it is believed that school officials were also somehow involved in that. Now, she doesn't know exactly how this happened because there was no point where she saw that policemen or anything like that were involved. The person that took her back to her biological family was the adopted father. So, I mean, it kind of hurts a little bit for Pearl because these people were never held accountable for their actions. But, I mean, they have to live with knowing what they did. Maybe they don't care. I have no idea. So, she was returned to her biological family. And when she returned to that family, she shared her story with them, yet no one sought justice for her. So she was pretty much betrayed by her real family and the family that adopted her when she was around 8 years old. So Pearl has been a little bit of a loner growing up. You know, when she was in school, like elementary school and, you know, junior high school, and well, not necessarily junior high school. You know, she was a little more social as a younger child. But when she was around probably 12 or 13, she was returned to her real family. And it was really hard for her to make friends in the new schools because, which she later found this out, she didn't find this out until she had left home. She later found out that her biological younger brother was going around the schools saying bad things about her, calling her a slut, saying that she slept around, that she did this and that she did that. So even though she did have a few friends growing up, she didn't have a lot. She had a couple that she would consider close, and one that she considered really close and is still friends with to this day, though they're not in touch as often as they probably should be, but she is in touch with her. So but yeah, partially because of what she's gone through, it has kind of made her a little bit of a different person. You know, who knows who she might have been had she not went through these experiences in her life. But yeah, once she told the family what had happened to her, there was no justice given to her. And it just didn't really seem like the family was very sympathetic to it either, because she would eventually suffer more sexual molestation before running away at around the age of 17 with a man she thought was good for her. This man was in his early to mid 20s, and he had no business being with and having sex with a underage teenage girl. So she ran away with this guy. He didn't abuse her, he didn't do horrible things to her, but being a young woman, she didn't realize that he should not have been having sex with her. And Pearl ended up having a child at the age of 18. But she also got wise as she got older and, you know, learned more about this man. She did end up leaving him, and once she got away from all these horrible things and people in her life, Pearl got her GED, went to college, and eventually joined the Navy. Pearl's job in the Navy was to handle communication systems, which I guess in the civilian sector would be kind of like your emails, like Gmail, AOL, Yahoo Mail. So she dealt with messaging systems. Now this is where this story is going to go into fiction, because while Pearl was in the Navy, this part is true, she was stationed in Italy, but while she was in Italy, this is where the fiction begins, guys. This is where our story scum begins. While she was in Italy, serving a tour over there, she was kidnapped by the Tech One Corporation while she was on leave. She was visiting the markets in Italy, and she was just snatched up right off the freaking street. So, and then she was dropped here on the island, and this is where we're at. She is making her way to the C1 town. So, Pearl's mission is to survive by any means necessary so she can return to her son. So, as y'all can see, Pearl is already a survivor in her own right. She just has to learn another type of survival. Living off the land, scavenging, building, repairing, gardening, combat, etc. Can Pearl overcome these new challenges in her life? Keep watching to find out. Do y'all see Pearl as a true survivor? I do, because I lived this life. I didn't let what happened to me completely ruin my life. I didn't turn to drugs, alcohol, and sex to cope with what happened to me. I didn't let it consume me to the point of no longer wanting to live. I've seen and heard stories of this happening to people in my situation. I survived, and I'm proud of who I've become. Could I be better? Yes. We can all be better. Has what happened to me had negative effects in my life as an adult? Yes. I'm often lonely because I struggle to make true connections with people. I am either too trusting or not trusting enough of others. I lack confidence on the outside, but I feel great confidence inside. I just struggle to let that out in myself. I don't know who I am. Like, is this really me, or do I have it in myself to be more, to be better? Anyway, I hope this message touches your hearts and makes you look at people differently and brings your awareness to abuse, whether it's child abuse, just anyone, any type of abuse. Children are the most innocent in this, disgusting abuse situation. They're the most innocent because they're less able to protect themselves. They can't just leave. I mean, they can try. I tried to leave. I ran away once. I ran to the Girl Scout leader's house, but my adopted mom knew if I ever left, that's where I would go. So she found me right away. So I was brought right back to that horrible place. So anyway, like I said, I hope this message touches your hearts, make you look at people differently. Don't be so quick to judge others. You don't know their life story and why they are the way they are. Be kind, be respectful, be open-minded, be thoughtful. Don't say hurtful things. Just listen. Just be a friend and be compassionate towards others. Thanks for watching and listening to a partially true story. And now let's continue this adventure with some fun, fictional, kick-ass moments. If you or someone you know is a true survivor, write "true survivor" in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And yeah, let's just continue with this episode. And hopefully I didn't make anyone feel too horrible. That wasn't my intention. I just thought giving Pearl a backstory that is true, maybe people could actually relate to the character a little more. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. And since we did finish our little backstory early enough, we will go ahead and discuss our video game history for this actual video. Because I told you guys I'd like to try and incorporate some sort of some information about video gaming facts in a video whenever possible. I mean, I'll try and put it in each video, but that may not happen. So what I looked up this past week for this video was what was considered the first survival game. Is that what I said? Oh yeah, first game to be recognized as a survival game was a game called Rogue, also known as Rogue: Exploring the Dungeons of Doom. This game was created in 1980 by Michael Toy, Glenn Weichman or Wichman, I don't know if it's Weichman or Wichman, and Ken Arnold. So what happened here is Rogue introduced many gameplay elements that later became staples of the survival games genre, such as permadeath, procedural generation of levels, and focus on resource management and strategy. So because of those elements, it was recognized as one of the first survival games. And I'm going to try and post a picture of what that looks like, and you guys are going to see it looks nothing like what we're used to now as a survival game. So it's so weird, but yeah, I'll try and post a picture of that in here. So yeah, when I got to this vineyard too, we'll go ahead and mention when I left the town that was behind the airport, I had somehow clicked on my hotkey for my webcam, which I didn't want on, and I always keep it covered with a piece of paper anyway, in case, you know, someone hacks the computer and gets into, you know, I don't want people watching me unless I know they're watching me, so I keep it covered up. But yeah, on my way over from the town behind the airport, I accidentally hit that at some point, and I had to cut out a little bit of stuff. But maybe I'll post it in here somewhere showing you guys how I gathered all these puppets up and took them into and then I ran into the building. So I had a small little mob on me when I was going into that home in the vineyard. So, but I had to cut it out because there was just too much freaking, because of that hotkey mistake that I made. So now we're almost to C1, as y'all can see. That's why I pulled the map up there. Now I don't really plan on doing a lot in C1, but I thought we'd at least get in there and look around a little bit, maybe get some food. So we'll actually be looting C1 during our next episode. And I'm going to try and start doing like a narration, you know, telling Pearl's story as a narrator. So the episodes might change a little as we go, as I try to figure out how to do this, how to come up with like a script and all that for each episode based on what she's doing. But I've never written scripts, so like I wrote a script this morning to kind of give her background story, but I didn't even follow it to a T. But I guess that's not what scripts are necessarily for. They're there to give you guidance and like keep you on the right track of what you want to talk about in a video. I take it out here, but I do stop to take a picture here, so yeah. But yeah, I took that out. I'm like, yeah, no, we don't need to include all that in there. But yeah, I hope y'all are enjoying the series. I'm hoping to make it a little more exciting. You will see here shortly that I've implemented a little something new in here, which I thought was awesome. I'm glad I came up with the idea, and there's probably going to be a lot more of it as long as I have the credits to do so. Oh my goodness, her heart is going to like pound out of her chest. What the heck? I've been watching this other guy play, and he's not playing SCUM, but I just like how he makes his videos like cinematic, and I kind of want to learn how to do that, but I think that's going to be a huge learning process for me. But his name is Sour Sweet. If y'all want to check him out, I like watching his DayZ stuff, so I thought I would share that with y'all. But I guess he does primarily live streams, I think on Twitch or something, and then he just turns those into like videos for YouTube. So yep, she's getting her stamina back up, poor thing. You're running her to death. off. Yeah, I thought this track, I just have it playing over and over again. I thought it was a good track for this episode. But I really want to learn how to make it more cinematic, but I might just have to watch him and find a few others that do the same thing to get some practice on like how to do that. And plus I'll have to watch videos on how to fade in and fade out the music. Because you want you want your music to be a little more hyped up during like stressful times. And I've already picked some tracks out. I mean, if you're a YouTuber and you want, comment below, where do you get your music from as a gamer or just any YouTuber really? Because I know there's free music out there that you can use in your videos without having to worry about copyright issues. But I've never looked that much into it because I just didn't, I'm like, it's just, I'm gaming, I don't really need to have music in my videos. But in these instances where you have high intensity moments, it would be cool to like have the music reflect that in the video. And plus then you don't have to like chat like the entire time you're recording. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to not talking much at all, to be fair. Because I think I can't remember what other channels I've watched, but I have watched other channels where there is no commentary at all. The story is just, you just watch the story unfold in the game that the person is playing, you know? And them adding the music and, you know, sometimes other special touches, they're able to just make it very interesting without the commentary. Look at these fools. Yeah, I've noticed they're getting hung up on these things a lot lately. Climbing up on the windowsills. Yeah, I'm enjoying this series so far. I hope y'all are enjoying it as well. Yeah, I was a little hesitant to loot these guys because that guy over there is like, oh my gosh. I'm like, as soon as I sit down to loot him, these dummies are going to come after me. Now my stomach's growling. So I say, I hope y'all don't hear that. But the last video turned out great with the voiceover. I didn't hear any background noise, even though we had all that, you know, I'd mention every time something would go by in the last video. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to think of how long this episode was. I mean, I didn't really feel like I had to cut that much out of this one though. Because I just cut out like the running from the airport to the vineyard. I cut some of that out. Well, I mean, I did cut a little bit out of running from B1 to the town behind the airport as well. Oh look, it's a cell phone. Wait a minute, did her stomach just growl in this game? Or was that my real stomach? Maybe it was my real stomach.
Hey. If you're watching this video, that means you found the cell phone I found in the first town I entered after being dropped on the island. I think it was called Veliki Taba. I was able to get the phone working well enough to record a video. I will be leaving video diaries anytime I find a phone. Please feel free to do the same. Maybe we can find each other and help each other out. I'm Candice, by the way. This is my first day on the island. What is wrong with the people here? They are so aggressive, they are not normal, almost like they are being controlled by someone or something else. I did manage to find weapons to defend myself against them. I was kidnapped when leaving my job at Computing for Real. I am an electronics engineer and I was studying computer science before I was taken. The TEC1 Corporation kidnapped me and expected I'd agree to work for them, but when I refused they dropped me here. I'm just wondering if there are others like me on the island, so please, if you get this message, leave a message for me or try to find me. Thanks, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Just record your message, if you choose to do so, and hide the phone in the same building I left it in, and I will check it when I return to the area. I am headed west.
Look at that. That's right, guys and gals. I decided to pay for the AI resource that I like and have decided to put that in there. If you'd like to see my first use of this, I will add in a card above. You can just click on that card and see my first time using this AI resource. So the card will either be, it's a YouTube card, it'll either be up in the right or left hand corner. I don't remember exactly where it puts them, but you can definitely check that out. And here, we're about to end here soon too, so if you'd like to see more SCUM videos, if you'd like to see when I actually first started SCUM, I will link that playlist above as well. Here somewhere, so you can check that out if you want. And if you like other survival games, just look on my channel. I have multiples that I've done, so I'm just hoping to get better. But yes, we're trying to get us some more food, and then in the next episode we will pick what we find is important here in C1, and we will go through that stuff. But as you can see, Candice is heading west, so is it possible that we passed her on our way here? That's unfortunate. Maybe we'll meet Candice in a future episode. Maybe we'll somehow manage to get us together. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, how would you do that? I guess you just have to keep watching to figure it out. It's gonna be cool if I can make it work though. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. Be aware of child abuse and abuse that's out there. It happens. If you can help, help. Don't stay silent about that. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!